Hello, everyone. We are back for more Unapologetically Black and Fast. This four, count it, 1, 2, 3, 4. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Day event celebrating Black excellence, Black joy, and speed running. We are live, from now to the 19th. Please use exclamation point UBAF in Twitch chat for more info. If you missed out on any of our shows or events, please be sure to check out the VODs on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. GDQ's next all-women and femme speedrunning event, Frost Fatales, is coming up March 3rd through 10th. The schedule is out now. Use exclamation point FF in Twitch chat to learn more. Prize submissions are open now until February 28th. Go to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more info. So, after that bro-tastic experience, I had a lot of people come to me in this short break and they said, man, we would love to see that kind of like action, just a lot of like throwing hands, throwing elbows, but in more of a gothic setting. What should we do? Well, I got the answer for you folks. Just come here, chill out, and enjoy this wonderful Castlevania Symphony of the Night run by the one, the only, the Swarm. Talk to these people.
Alrighty, thank you, Bees, for that intro. So today we're going to be doing some Soten randomizer. Specifically, we're going to be using the safe preset. To me, I chose this because personally it's my favorite preset. It's the most randomizer you can get in Soten. So it'll be a blast for everyone. Quick note, this is not a vetted seed. I just generated the seed, so I have no idea what's going to happen. You know, these can go pretty short or they can go, long, but it'll be a roller coaster ride, that's for sure. So, cypherin and Scrimps, you want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, everyone. I'm cypherin. I think you all might have just saw me bro up, bro down, however you say it, with Big Beaz here.
Bro.
Glad to be on Swarm's remote couch here.
I'm Scrimps. I played a lot of Rando when we were practicing for the last tournament, which the Swarm won, by the way. Huge props to him. So yeah, I'm a big Swarm fan, and I'm happy to be talking about this game because I love it.
Okay. All right. Thank you two for joining me, and let's get this started. We're gonna give a quick countdown here. So 3, 2, 1, go. Alrighty.
You got this, yeah.
Thank you, cypherin. So basically we're starting here. For those who are familiar with Soten, we're going to start the prologue. Naturally, well, it is a randomizer, but for this part, it's not going to be randomized because we're Richter and we don't have any gear. So we're just going to be trying to get our hearts and stuff so we can get our 2 random item drops. Who knows what it could be. Could be a library card, could be, something useless, but it's a nice check. But yeah. Pretty standard thus far. We're going to be juggling this to get the extra mana, in case we find an early bat. That'll become kind of useful. And yeah, so any notes, Scrimps, you want to talk about general rules of safe?
Yeah, for sure. So the safe preset is a preset where you don't start off with any relics of any kind. Items are randomized, item stats are randomized, item sprites are randomized. So when you pick something up, it might say that it's a Chrysogrim, for example, which is widely known as one of the best pieces of equipment in the game. That doesn't mean it's a Chrysogrim. It could actually be something completely useless. So typically, a lot of times with safe runners, you'll see once they kind of have equipment that's good enough, they don't wind up checking a lot of things just because it takes a lot of time to go into your menu and look at something every time. And we're going to even see right here at the start, every piece of equipment that he has is randomized. So,
including the cape color.
You might see him, which sometimes you get some really fly capes. Alucard's got good fashion sense. Other times, not so much. We got, a meal ticket there?
Chakram. All right, Chakram. Any Chakram enjoyers out there? It's a kind of a controversial weapon. A lot of people don't like it. I think it's pretty neat. So, pretty unique weapon as it's thrown. And yeah, so we're just going to be making our way through here. Generally, so with I guess in Soten Randomizer, there are two different kinds of seeds in my mind. There's your kind of free presets, which are they don't have any complexity, so they are like completable. Like there's a check that makes sure that they're completable, but in safe and others, there's complexity, and so complexity basically means that one required item, usually a Vlad, is going to be at complexity 9. And basically, complexity is how many steps it takes to, steps of progression it takes to get to your last Vlad, or technically Holy Glasses, but we'll get there later.
See what our first relic
Okay,
is.
starting off with the Vlad, so that's 1 of 5. That's always nice to see.
Very nice.
So yeah, I guess generally the goals here are going to be the same as like a vanilla playthrough, which is you are trying to get all 5 Vlads and then naturally kill Dracula. So that's the goal for this, and because we don't start off with any equipment, or well, our equipment gets stolen from death, and we don't have any relics. Nuts. Our complexity, or my goodness, Nick, what are you doing? The amount of relics that we can reach initially without any relics is set. So we are going to be doing a pretty standard route here. We're going to be going to Spirit Orb, checking that, and then if we don't find anything, we're going to be going all the way to Library. So yeah, and I guess another aside is that considering we don't have any gear in safe, it's kind of common to see some deaths, knock on wood, but we're going to be trying to play a little safe here because we can actually take a lot of damage. For those who've played Soten, like Slugger and Gaibon are kind of a joke, but in this, thank goodness we got a good kill off on them. Without any gear, and with sometimes you just get terrible stats, and then they can be a problem, even if you especially if you get poisoned. But luckily neither of those things happened, and we're zooming. Ouch. But still, we're gonna be playing it super safe until we can A, get some armor, B, find a decent weapon. Like any weapon with a little bit of reach would be great. Unfortunately right now we don't have any.
Looks like the strength roll was maybe a little low too, since you were taking 3 punches on those boys.
Yeah, I think that last level up really helped because we only got 2 hits on that green armor, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, so we're making our way to Spirit Orb. So we're gonna try and minimize the amount of damage that we're taking in the beginning, and would really love a shield because currently we can't shield dash, so that'll slow us down a little bit. But luckily, chaining backdashes is about doubly as fast as walking, so we still have that. But obviously, shield dashing is quite nice. But we'll figure it out.
A little bit of money will be nice. Maybe the librarian will have something cool for you.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Okay, Leapstone. That's actually really nice here. So basically, here is our first step in progression. So we're at complexity layer 1. And so what that means is that we are going to be looking for our next step somewhere, one of 2 places. Or we could get into shared complexity, but we'll discuss that later if it comes up. Basically, we're going to be going to the Colosseum at this point, and then follow that all the way to the Leapstone check, the vanilla Leapstone check, I should say. So that's going to be our next step. So that's basically the game giving you hints on where you should be going next. So this is our first hint. So,
hey, quick question,
yeah,
Swarm.
Of course.
So the Vlads that you mentioned, is it possible that you can find all of them, say, in this initial castle, or like solely in one of the castles, or solely in the upside down castle?
Yep. So we're technically both of those things are true. Either of those things could happen. The seeds where all 5 are in the first castle are not my favorite because it doesn't really reward gambling. It actually punishes it a lot because a lot of when you're racing something like this, it's basically, something that I rely on a lot is statistics. So if we see that we get an early 3 Vlads, and then we haven't found the final Vlad, then the likelihood of there being the last one in the second castle is pretty high. But sometimes, statistics, they mislead you. So literally anything could happen. I've seen a lot of all Vlads in the first castle. I've never actually seen all Vlads in the second castle, but it is possible.
The only way that could wind up happening is if all 9 of your progression layers led to holy glasses, or the first 8 steps, and then your 9th one was, the final Vlad just being in the second castle.
Oh wow! All right.
There's only one way for that to happen. Ooh, this is a
obligatory meme. Is this even randomized? So that's the vanilla mist location. So that's neat. That sometimes happens. So that's what we like to see. So we have some decision making to go by here, which will be neat. The decision making being, we could get the Olrox teleporter and just go to library, because that could be where we're going, where the game wants us to go next. But it could be a lie, because that only, that's nunchaku, terrible. Wow, turfing, terrible. All right, so normally Battle Air is pretty good 2-hitting weapon, but that rolled the stats of the Tearfing, which is a cursed sword that does no damage, and it sucks. So we don't like that. Oh crap. Oh boy. This fight can go south pretty hard. Oh boy. We might see some, oh boy. Bad stuff here. Oh boy. Please God. We're going to try and bring it together here.
Frames there.
Thank you. Oh wow, that was okay. That was
nice.
Totally planned. Totally planned. That was
of course.
the sketchiest fight ever, but it kind of worked out. Got like a double kill, maybe. That was neat.
That was a heck of a recovery. Nice job.
That was kind of dangerous. That fight. So you noticed that I saved before that. Nice little mana refill glitch there. Definitely a cheater. But yeah, that sometimes will happen, where that fight can go south. I saved before it because I kind of anticipated that fight. There are a lot of fights that in this game that, normally they would be trivial, but because we have, no armor, no weapon, it can be a little difficult. This is kind of a room that claims a lot of people's lives, so we're going to be doing very specific strat here, just jumping over these guys, because they will basically two-shot you, so we want to stay away from them. Also, no armor, no weapons right now. All of the weapons that we found have been absolute garbage, so we have to play very, very safe.
You're continuing the beat 'em up block from Double Dragon 3, so it works out.
Yeah. There you go.
I would love nothing more than the Fist of Tulkas to be like the main weapon you get for this round. It would be just chef's kiss.
That'd be amazing. But yeah, I'm glad that we didn't find like Bat at Cubeb Zoe and or like a Chrysogrim or something, because that's when everyone would think I vetted the seed or whatever. I'm glad it's nice and difficult seed, so nobody second guesses that. All right, so now we've got some money. Let's see. Actually, okay, we have nothing there. So I'm just gonna kind of follow this thread. With Mist, we can go to Soul of Bat location. So that could be the next step of complexity, but it's not guaranteed, because it could be a scenario where there's shared complexity, where multiple progression items are unlocked by Leapstone. But that's a more rare scenario. But now that I've said that, it guarantees that it's going to happen. But we'll take a look, see if it happens. But for now, we're just going to follow this thread, listen to what the game's giving us, and see what happens. Plus, we can say hi to our friend Doppelganger. We're just making our way through here and ultimately going to the library, and we'll be able to check out the shop. We don't have a ton of money, but what's good about the shop is that there's a guaranteed $400 shield. So it at least unlocks shield dashing for us, which will speed us up a little bit. So that'll be very nice. And so as of now, we think that we're on complexity layer 3. In safe, the last complexity item is at 9, at least. There are scenarios where it could be complexity 10. That is not ideal, but we'll see how this treats us. Also, Doppelganger can be mean. Ouch. You know what? Yeah, my strength roll is terrible. Do we have any throwables? That's another thing that can kind of help us out here. We do. We have a Flame Star, which does 107 damage. That's very, very good. So a nice little thing here is that if we don't have any weapons, Doppelganger can prove to be difficult, but this single-use throwable will be really nice because we'll do a ton of damage to him because we're only doing 15 damage with our fists. This does 107, so this will help out this fight a lot. So we're going to manipulate him to jump and then throw that in his face and then kind of loop him there and nice, easy fight.
Wow, very nice.
Thank you.
Nice. And actually, I just looked this up. The Doppelganger 10 only has 120 HP.
Look at
so
that.
that was pretty close to just one-shotting him.
Nice. Yeah, that's an insanely good throwable. Hopefully we find another and duplicator. But we'll see. You know what? Let's just go this. We're normally, there's a strat where you can kind of delay the library, but now that we have this indicator that we want to go to the library, we kind of want to follow this thread and see where it takes us. So, yeah. I like killing those guys because they have a pretty decent drop rate for items, considering I'm still kind of have just my fists and no armor. So that's kind of unfortunate. So we're trying to remedy that.
Hey, Swarm or Scrimps, would you mind again explaining the complexity layer aspect?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically what happens, so he found Leapstone on layer 1, right? Leapstone unlocks 2 new checks. So at the start of the game, you have, 5 checks or 6?
I think. Yeah.
1 in the elevator. Okay, so you have 5 checks available at the start of the game. With no options, you can only go to those 5 checks. So one of those has to be some option that will unlock a new layer of complexity. In this case, Leapstone unlocked 2 checks for us, so one of those 2 checks will be something that unlocks more checks through the castle, and this will continue until we get to the 9th layer, which will contain the final Vlad relic that he'll need to access the Dracula fight and finish the game.
Yeah. I guess now's a good time to talk about out of logic checks as well, if you don't mind, Scrims.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's another thing you can do where they're not considered glitches, but they're not necessarily intended interactions for the purposes of the complexity. So for example, what he just did there with the Leapstone, he jumped off of that book using the dive kick. The randomizer doesn't expect you to be able to do that for complexity purposes. So he just did a check that was out of logic. So if he had found something there, for example, it wouldn't necessarily mean that leads to the next step. And there's some other ways you can do that as well. Any randomizer preset's going to be using a glitchless rule set. So anything that involves explicitly doing a weird glitch, like clipping out of bounds or stuff like that, those are not allowed. But things like another example, if you use a transformation, the wolf or the mist transformation, when you come out of that, you're in a state where you can do a dive kick. And doing that dive kick off of things like that book, or in some cases, you can dive kick off of a candle to access something that you shouldn't be able to access, that's considered out of logic as well. And so you have to keep that stuff in mind when you're going through, because you can lead yourself on a real wild goose chase if you don't remember that something you got was out of logic.
Yeah. Okay, so we saw the shop was super good. We saw a duplicator. We saw a chrysogrim. Oh my goodness. This is a pretty dangerous room. All right, we're good. So we saw a chrysogrim. We saw a duplicator. We saw... Ouch. We have... Oh my goodness. Gracious.
These guys are no joke. Do not sleep on the flea men. They came to fight. Nice use of the spell there. Soul Steal getting some recovery back.
Oh my goodness.
And this guy's he hits kind of hard, but all of his attacks are pretty easy to dodge. He's sort of, I think, intended to be a relatively early game boss, so he's not too bad. And yeah, you see him, he just drops.
Yeah, but again, terrible weapon, terrible armor, so we're kind of vulnerable here to death, so I'm going to play it really safe and pick up that life max up as much as it pains me, but, naturally you got to be careful sometimes. Nakamir, we're going to check if that's actual money, because that'd be really great. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. We have decisions to be made here. One thing that we do need to do, unfortunately, is use this mana prism, because we'll also be waiting here forever for the mana to get through here. So we have a lot of decisions to be made here. We have the ability. Let's check that. Okay. Oh, really, dude? Sparkling ring. It's just a zircon. The shop is so good, and it doesn't want to give me money. Ugh, goodness. All right. So I have decisions to make here. Either we could follow the intended progression, or we could attempt to kind of cheat the game. Ouch. Cheat the game. All right. Thank you. And okay. Thank goodness. We can afford a shield, so we're gonna go back, get a shield. Or we can try and cheat the game and do out of logic silver ring, which I always like to do because swaggy as heck. But we'll see.
So since we've unlocked the Jewel of Open here, what normally Jewel of Open would unlock all of the caverns checks as well as going to Castle Keep. The game knows that you can go back to Alchemy Lab and take the jewel door on the left side of the Alchemy Lab into the chapel, and then you can go from Royal Chapel into the Castle Keep and check what would normally be in the vanilla game, the Leapstone check. But since Leapstone was already accessible by us having Leapstone, we can sort of write off the Leapstone check as having the next piece of progression, which kind of means that if you want to chase complexity, you can just go straight down to the caverns. Or, I mean, Swarm's already talked about it, but the out of logic ability to check Silver Ring is on the table for him, and I think I'm reasonably good at this, and it's not something I can do. Swarm does it with alarming regularity, so...
Yeah, unfortunately, a consideration with that out of logic check is that you have to rely on like a pretty mana intensive spell for like a lower level. So if you don't kill Aurochs, then you don't really have that much mana. So that would require us to have a mana prism, and unfortunately, I kind of chose to get a shield instead. That's a little safer of decision. So our hope is that we find flight, and then we can loop in Silver Ring later. Still out of logic, but in a little safer manner. But we'll see. Lord knows I'd really love a decent weapon, and would really love a shield or a armor, so I just have some insurance that I don't die. Because right now this sword is terrible. The shield, at least I have a shield, but and I have terrible armor. So really showcasing the how randomizer, sometimes you can kind of get. Oh, I already checked that. Sometimes you can kind of get unfortunate. It's just unfortunate luck that I've had such terrible gear. Hopefully it turns around, or I find some money and then I can get like a chrysogram, I can get a duplicator and mana prisms, and then I'll be on my merry way. So what I'm hoping to see is I hope to Alucard shield. That was a dark shield, I think, right?
Looks like that, yeah.
What I'm hoping is that for flight, our intended flight is Bat, because Bat naturally is very fast. And with the duplicator and mana prism in the shop, then we'll basically have all the gas in the world, and we'll be able to close this out much faster than I would otherwise. But flight could also be like Power of Mist, something super slow that technically gives us flight but isn't very fast, or it could be gravity boots. So there's the three different forms of flight.
We do have another potential out of logic check coming up here too. Mm-hmm. Curious about that?
Yeah, for sure. I'll be doing that. So here's a nice little thing we can do here. Might need some quiet. I got to focus here for a second. Good. All right. So there nice. We can use the Mist transformation and Leapstone it's like a little bug or glitch, if you will. Even though this technically is the glitchless rule set, but there's some things that we allow because they're cool and neat and add kind of cool different mechanics into the game. So there we were using a reset. Basically, if you do a transformation against a ceiling and your head hits the ceiling, then you get your leap stone back, which is neat. So you can just kind of crawl along the ceiling to do this auto logic check. And so if there's something here, then it'll be really nice because we'll know that we're likely getting flight next, and then here would be like the intended next step. So we would be able to kind of weigh that against like where we go next, because we are ouch, got what we needed. And I still have terrible armor, so ow, and thank God, terrible armor and weapon. So naturally, even succubus can be a little annoying. Please be bad.
It's nice that we at least had leap stone.
Power of mist. So we know that our intended flight. This is not our intended flight. This is our. This is out of logic flight. So basically, we came here when we weren't supposed to, and we found flight, which means that our intended flight is either leap stone gravity boots or it's bad. So that's really good for us. We are really, really happy with that. Also, this kind of opens up our silvering check, and it makes it so I don't have to show off my super swaggy tech for out of logic spike breaker, and instead get a easy mist power mist spike breaker. So that is very, very nice find. Although it's kind of sad I won't be able to show off my swaggy tech, but it's whatever.
It is nice that you found Power of Mist in a seed that's so starved for defense too. Power of Mist is a nice sort of I'm in trouble button.
Mm-hmm. Just if you're almost dead, like a great runner in Soten, Dinner Dog, who I saw in the chat earlier. His advice is great for if you're ever in trouble in Soten. Just pause. Just pause. You know, there's usually a way out if you can think about it. Just pause, take 2 seconds, and then figure it out. So we'll pick this up. Gas Cloud is... So we got full mist powers, which is neat. Gas Cloud, it is... I call it Fartivlad because it looks like a fart cloud, which is funny. And basically it just does damage. Your mist does damage, which is neat. So we picked that up. It's a nice little thing to use in some scenarios, and in a race scenario, I would skip it because it's not super useful, but it can be. It's enough where in this setting I would snag it. And apparently we're on a quest to collect all of the shields in this game. I've got 3 separate shields. It really doesn't want to give me a decent weapon, but right there we picked up a javelin. That's a single-use item. Normally I would kind of skip over it, but now that we saw that there's a duplicator in the shop, we want to pick it up just in case we're able to afford that later. So now what are we going to do here? So there is a whole concept that I haven't really talked about, and it's kind of my specialty in Soten Randomizer. Basically I guess as we've kind of seen it right now, we're just kind of going through and doing all the checks. There is this kind of this strategy in Soten randomizer racing where you skip checks, and a lot of people so there is a contingent of people who like to be more safe, and that's fine. I'm not one of those people. I like to be kind of crazy, and I like to kind of weigh the likelihood of a check being something, whether it be a random Vlad or progression, and use that to determine whether I should go there. And that's neat, rendering or complexity ring. We'll see. And so we'll see a little bit of that. Naturally, in a marathon setting, it doesn't lend itself too well to that, but I am going to be playing my strats. I got 2 strats that are kind of my hallmark, which is skipping Grand Floon. Terrible check that takes forever and usually is nothing. Knock on wood, somebody please. Hey, you know what? Everybody in chat, knock on wood, because...
I got you.
I just did it.
Appreciate it, because that would be most unfortunate. That's our strat. Basically, it's this really, really slow check that I like to skip, because most of the time it's nothing. It's at the end of a complexity layer, so you know whether it's required. And because of that, you kind of have this unique opportunity to skip it, and it's a pretty safe skip. And so, yeah. So we'll see that later. Right now, we're going to be doing this out of logic check, which is technically out of logic because we got this out of logic flight. We're still looking for our flight. Hopefully, it's at Demon Card, which is our next check. Otherwise, it is guaranteed to be at Granfloon, our sworn enemy or friend. It's a love-hate relationship. I like him in that he basically won a whole tournament for me. I don't like him when he has something. So I always joke that I have like this ongoing deal with him that he doesn't have anything, and then I let him live. So
did you guys renegotiate the contract?
I didn't. I didn't hit him up before this. He actually wasn't.
Move.
Yeah, he wasn't picking up my phone calls, so it might be a bad omen. But we'll see. Oh crap! All right, so we're cruising at. Ooh, Nick, come on. All right, Graham, that's a pretty good weapon. That's double hitter, and so we're really happy with that. Oh, baby, that is a Chrysogrim drop right there.
So one of the things with the item randomizer is the way you know what the item is that you picked up is when you go into your menu, the item description will always be accurate to the item that you picked up. And so since he saw the description, Countless Blades Dice Enemy, we know for a fact that that's a Chrysogrim. Now, it doesn't have the greatest stats in the world, but with the way the Chrysogrim works, it really doesn't matter. It hits so many times. That's a clutch life max up.
Yeah, we're just going to go out of our way for that, just for marathon safety. And so Chrysogrim really, really helps us out. It kind of solves our combat for the rest of the whole seed, so we don't really have to worry about that. The next thing we really want is just some decent movement. Right now, we just have really, really slow movement. We'd like to upgrade that. But, you know, as far as seeds go, I'm pretty darn happy with getting a free Chrysogrim. And shout out to all my casual Soten players. You probably all farmed a Chrysogrim, so you probably are having the time of your life right now.
Hey, can I interject another question?
Yeah, of course.
So how does this preset compare to what the tourney setting that you and Scrimps took part in? How does it compare to that?
Yeah, so this was one of 5 presets in the tournament. In the tournament, that wrapped up, was it December, late November? It was Lycanthrope, which is kind of classic, Warlock, it was Guarded OG, and Safe. And that was all.
Nimble as well.
Nimble, yes. And of course, Nimble. Oh, cool. Spikebreaker. Man, this really. So that is probably our progression. Yeah, that's probably our progression. So where it wants us to go next is it wants us to go to Silvering. And if I were to guess, well, but that's actually kind of funny. So flight is at Silvering. That's what that tells us. Because we're looking for flight, either that or it's going to be even a longer complexity journey all the way to flight. But it's likely that that's just that's our flight. So we hope that is our progression. It's technically not guaranteed, but it likely is. We're going to be going here. We're going to equip our Spikebreaker because it has some decent stats on there. Let's see if we got anything else. We have a diamond. So that is a duplicator and basically everything we need. Unfortunately, we have no great way of getting back to the library. So we really, really hope for a library card. So something that I love to do, especially in spite of my sworn enemy / friend, Granfloon, is that on the way to Granfloon, there are a lot of checks. And so I like doing these item checks. And then just going back and skipping Granfloon because these are a bunch of item checks that could be library cards and help us out a ton, but we don't want to go to Granfloon.
Is that 6 item checks there, I think?
Yeah, plus 2.
4 in the sarcophagi and then 2 afterwards.
Oh, is it only 4? Oh.
I think so, because I think the rest of them have the bloody skeletons in it. I could be wrong on that one, though.
Yeah. So it's a ton of checks really fast, and it takes like 2 seconds, and you get to make fun of Granfloon on your way. So library card? Nope. Library card? Something.
That dark room back there is where you were going to do your swag movement, right?
Exactly.
So you got the
Yeah, exactly. I've got some cool tech that I really labbed a ton. So I have a setup to do that with just 2 iframe items. Okay. Okay. So, this is very interesting. So, Spikebreaker location is not required. It was just Cube of Zoe. So that means that this seed is going to be pretty linear. I think it means that what it means by linear is that in safe, basically there's a high enough complexity where if you find a good amount of items that turn out to not really lead anywhere, then you can be sure because of math that that every other progression item is going to lead to something. So it's likely that, so this is guaranteed to be a there and back seed, I think. Almost all but guaranteed.
There's only 2 potential places that the last Vlad can exist now.
Yep.
That being the Holy Glasses check and the Holy Symbol check that's locked behind the Merman statue.
Mm-hmm. And so we don't have the ability to go to either of those yet. So this is likely going to be a there and back seed, which means we have to go to the second castle and then come back. And so we'll get to see a lot of that, and that actually will be very interesting. So there are decisions to be made here. Basically, we have a choice. That choice being, we can either A, go directly where we think we need to go and skip Alchemy Lab, or we can go to Alchemy Lab. I'm going to be pretty safe here. I'm just going to do the whole loop. We're going to do Alchemy Lab, which is unlocked by our flight, our out of logic flight, and then we can loop in our silver ring check there along with that loop. So this is like one of the most efficient loops in Randomizer. This kind of bread and butter routing decision, where if you have flight, especially if you have like Jewel of Open, Spikebreaker, all that, and Mist, then you can like really efficiently, without teleporting anywhere, just like teleport to entrance and just follow the castle all the way to Keep, and then kind of figure out what you want to do there. So that's what we'll be doing. So here we're... Okay, come on, Nick. You too can use Power of Mist, like the slowest movement ever. So yeah, that's what we're kind of going to be doing here. We're going to hope to find a couple of Vlads here. That'd be really nice. Because I don't want to go looking all over for them. And the more Vlads that we find here, the less likely it is for a Vlad to be at Grand Floon, which we skipped. Right. So, but yeah. So having this loop is really nice. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
This is commonly referred to as the clockwise route, because you're literally just going clockwise through the castle and hitting every check that you see along the way.
Yep. Yeah, so basically it's going to follow this
annoying.
Thread. It's really nice if you have like gravity boots or bat to speed this up, but our movement is very, very slow right now, which is kind of okay. We're playing Yu-Gi-Oh here. We found every card basically. Those are just like familiar cards. The reason why I don't really pick them up is because they're kind of useless, at least in a race setting. Not really much you can do with those, but yeah. So we're really hoping for random Vlads or any sort of progression. We have found neither. Ouch. Thus far, we're getting poisoned left and right, but that's all right. We've got good armor. We've got a really good weapon, and we've got a shield. So all we're missing basically have everything that we could ever need, except for bat. So that's what we're hoping for next.
And we're likely going to not see that next piece of progression until we do get to that silver ring check over in the chapel. But because of the efficiency of the routing, we're still going to see the Olrox check and the sword card check, because they're on the way. It doesn't add too much time for you to do them versus like if you were to try to come back for them later. There are some opportunities in the randomizer to decide to postpone certain chunks of the castle until you see, until something sort of forces you to go there. But in this case, we kind of already know what's happening, and we just want to knock out as many checks. Ooh,
sorry.
Let's go. No, you're good. That's worth celebrating. Library card, probably if I had to say, I would personally say I think it's the single most impactful game in the item in the randomizer setting. It opens up so many options for you routing wise that players who don't have library cards simply do not have.
Yep. Yeah, so that's huge, especially because we suspect that there's going to be a there and back seed. So basically it means that we don't really have to worry about, making our way there and back from the castle. If we find progression in the second castle, we can basically just be like, all right, well, I'm out of here, and then just go back to the library and continue on our way, which is really nice. And along with that, it's really nice because when we do that, we can also pick up, we have a ton of money, we can pick up that, whatever you want to call it, duplicator. We can pick up another Christogrim if we really want. So yeah.
Now we just gotta slowly mist up the shaft.
Yep. Unfortunate. This is like the slowest. This is the slowest form of flight. It really sucks, and but that's we make do with it. But my hands, could use a workout. We're just gonna be shield dashing. Hopefully it's not like all my practice seeds where I was shield dashing for an hour and a half, like an hour 15. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully this is kind to us and gives us bat right here. It'd be really great. Because and just to kind of continue along, just telling everyone my thought process from what we've seen so far. Because bat, well, we haven't seen bat yet. It could be our intended flight, which would be great. So it could be at Silvering, or it could be Gravity Boots at Silvering. We're really hoping that it's bat there, but if bat isn't there, then that means that it's just random because it's not required because Spike Breaker was nothing. All right.
It's nice that we've got some good combat. Olrox is, I personally think, probably the most difficult boss in the first castle. He hits pretty hard, and a lot of times, especially in some of the presets where you do have movement options available at the start, you don't have particularly good combat. You're forced. Sometimes the randomizer forces you to fight these bosses quite a bit earlier than you would typically run into them in the vanilla game. And this guy is this guy takes a lot of people's lunch money. He's really not kind at all.
Yeah. So let's say there's just a lot of scenarios where you'd be doing this clockwise route much earlier. Okay, that guarantees that.
It guarantees bat is there.
Guarantees that bat is at Silvering.
It could be a ring there. It could be a ring that leads you to bat. But either way,
we know that our intended flight is bat. So that's a big dub for us. We are happy about that. But we kind of want to hurry this along. We want to find these holy glasses, so we're kind of unshackled, and we can kind of find whatever's in the second castle, make our way back here, and then continue. But we'll see. But having that is super nice. So there's just a lot of stuff like that where, if you're just like casually running the randomizer, you wouldn't necessarily pick up on that like pattern and what the seed's telling you. But okay, we have echo there. That's not important. But me and Scrims have played these so much, probably too much, but that we just pick up on such things. So we know that bat is at Silvering, which is great. And so now we're basically ouch. What we're hoping is that we can. Now we have Spike Breaker, so we don't need to worry about these spikes. What we're hoping for here after bat is that the next step is Holy Glasses at Keep, which would be great because we just immediately end our loop there. And see, Soul Bat.
Nice.
Very nice.
Getting real close to that any percent loadout.
Yep. And so we're really hoping for like Holy Glasses or our next step at Keep. So either Power of Mist or a Ghost card. And because of that, that would make it so we could just immediately peace out of the first castle and continue on our way. And then, but we'll see. Just a little kind of, oh crap, little dinky boss here. Ouch. Naturally with Chris Grimm, nothing really matters as far as like all the bosses are kind of trivial. So we're pretty happy about that. There is a kind of just I don't know. Kind of what I like to say in the randomizer is ouch. Is ouch. That's what I like to say. No, I'm just kidding.
Did they be like that sometimes?
What I like to say in the randomizer is that every decision you do, whether you do or don't do something, is a gamble. So like commonly people are like, not going to or skipping a check is a gamble. People view that as a gamble, but it's kind of in my mind, going to a check can also be a gamble. Like let's say you go to Grand Floon. You have, 4 Vlads, or you have like three Vlads, and there's only like a, sub 10% chance that there's actually a Vlad at Grand Floon, and you still go there. That kind of goes into, into gambling territory. Because it's more likely that there isn't a check there. Oh, good Lord. All right. That means, I think because of what we found thus far, that means that has to be something. That has to be glasses. Or it could be a ring.
If it wasn't for that ring of Vlad, this is really close to being that situation that we said was very unlikely where, there's a bunch of Vlads in second castle, including the final.
Yep. Cypherin spoke that one to existence. But
I try to help where I can.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. And so now what we're thinking is that we got our teleporter here. We are going to make our way down to Holy Symbol check. And there is a bit of... Oh, man. Yeah, it's really unfortunate because if there were library cards in the shop, then we could have a duplicator and library cards, and that'd be great. But I'm going to save my library card for the second castle because it's likely that we'll have to come back unless this is a ring. If this is a ring, then we won't have to come back, and I'll use the library card after. Oh crap! Where am I going? At least can we? Let's do a sanity complexity check here, Scrimps, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Okay. So we found Leapstone on layer 1. We found Mist on layer 2. We found Jewel of Open on layer 3. We found Spike Breaker on layer 4. We found Gravity Boots on layer 5. We found Merman Statue on layer 6. If we were to find the glasses here, we would be at layer 7. If we found the ring, we'd be at layer 7. And glasses would be guaranteed at layer 8.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that looks good. Except for Gravity Boots was nerf light. It was bad, but yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, you're totally good. But yeah, it's all good. But now we're... So that's good. So we're basically made our way through our complexity chain. It's been a kind of a doozy of one, to be honest, in that it's kind of had us go all across the first castle, which is kind of funny. And we haven't really found that many Vlads. It's starting to worry me. Even as a seasoned Grand Floon skipper, this scenario does, give me pause. But yeah, we'll see. All right, heart refresh. That's nice to have on deck. And so here we expect holy glasses, and then we're looking for the complexity ring in the second castle. But anything can happen. It could be rings into glasses into final Vlad, and maybe 3 random Vlads in the second castle. That'd be pretty neat. But we'll see. We'll kind of reevaluate as we see what's behind here.
We only have there's 4 checks left, so we've got this check that'll put us down to 3, and then Fire Bat is left, Grand Floon is left, and the Holy Glasses check. There it is.
So they're in backseat. So that means that we're going to be holding off on using our library card. There personally is an argument for using it right now, in that we know that there's a duplicator and a mana prism in the shop, which would save us a ton of time in the second castle. So it honestly could have been it could have been fine either way. And it's likely that we could have made it to a teleporter pretty quick after we find the complexity ring. But it's whatever. We're just gonna play it safe and just hold on to this library card for dear life, and just use it in the second castle. We'll get back here for our final Vlad.
I do like this as a call. Just tossing that out there.
Yeah, it's a gamble to do the other strat, because what you're gambling is that that you'll find the ring like next to a teleporter, and in that case, that would be the better strat. But it's just a little safer to do this.
And you already have good combat too, so it's not like the duplicator is giving you combat options that you don't already have. It's pretty much just giving you unlimited power in terms of movement.
Yeah, exactly. And the way I see it, on our way out, we can check Fire Bet. Actually, we shouldn't do that. We should not do that. Because we're going to be coming back. We're going to be using our library card to get back to the first castle anyways. And so after we use our library card, we're going to be leaving. We'll be in that general area anyways. And hopefully we'll have, I don't know. To me, that makes sense.
This is a good example of what we were talking about earlier with postponing, because of the fact that if you go there now, it's just one check weighted against, all of the second castle. But once you've done the second castle, you might run into that situation where you find all of the rest of the random Vlads, and then you know for a fact that there's nothing there. Exactly. So this is like, it's nice to, if you don't have to do movement right now, don't do it right now.
Exactly.
It's better to just save it and see if the game will maybe give you the correct context to say, I don't need to go there. It's unnecessary.
Yep. That's kind of a tenet of my strategies, is that you don't want to do things that you could easily postpone later, especially if you have it's more true when you don't have bat, because the hope is that you'll find bat and you'll be able to do the check faster later. But yeah.
We have the whole suite of movement options here. You got pretty much everything you could want.
Okay, which brings us to our next talking point. Left versus right side. Scrimps, you want to start us off?
Okay, so when I first started playing in the randomizer, it was very conventional wisdom that you go right side. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to do Darkwing Bat here. That's one check. There are 11 checks. I think it's 11?
10.
Is it 12?
I think they're 10, right?
Well, you've got... Oh, yeah, it's 5, 4, and 1. Okay, so there's 10 checks. There's 10 checks in the second castle. We're going to do Darkwing Bat first. And what we're seeing here is he's grabbing the warp first, because we already know where you're going. I'll fill everybody else in, but we already know where you're going.
Yep.
So conventional wisdom initially said we go to the right side. It allowed us to get the Olrox, or the reverse Olrox warp, which is the closest warp to the final fight. It's good to be able to warp, right to where Vlad's at, go fight him, finish the game. And so people like to do the right side. It was a pretty efficient route in terms of just, being able to knock out all these things you want. Well, some people did some time testing and figured out that in, almost all situations, it was 1 in 6 or something like that, that having the Olrox warp was better than just going there.
Yeah.
And so you have a choice to go left or right. Going right side gives you 4 of the remaining 9 checks. Going to the left side gives you 5 of the remaining 9 checks. And initially, people weighted that with, we want the Olrox warp. It's good. It lets us get to the end of the game faster. As soon as that becomes not true, then just mathematically, it makes more sense to go left side in a lot of situations, because of the fact that there are more checks there. Just statistically speaking, you're more likely to see what you're looking for. Left side's got the goods.
Yep. And also, it's not only statistically more likely to find whatever you're looking for on the left side, it's also the most efficient way to check the whole second castle. We see this in Glitchless. Glitchless does this. So naturally, just porting over that logic to the randomizer, it just kind of was really clear to me eventually. Shout out to Crazy for Blades for opening my eyes to left side, and Scrimps as well. Scrimps definitely was an early adopter, and Black Fox, and a lot of people who played before me. But this is all I know. So
it took me specifically seeing that information about the Olrox warp to change my mind. Crazy and Black Fox were on this train before it was cool.
But so we're gonna say hi to our good old friend Creature here. He's probably gonna have something, right? As long as you're nice to him, he usually has something. So I try to be nice to him. People are really mean to him, so. And
Creature used to get a lot of flack because of the right side.
Okay. It's okay, Creature. You tried. You tried, buddy. Next time.
So back when right side was more of a thing, Creature was very out of the way on that route, and so it became very meta for people in races to decide to skip Creature, because if you've done all of the right side checks, there are 5 checks remaining. There's only a 20% chance that creature has if you're looking for one specific thing, there's only a 20% chance he has it. And so 80% of the time, you're wasting all of this movement that Swarm is doing. He would be doing it the opposite direction, but you're wasting all of that movement and back to get nothing. And so it's just statistically speaking, it became good to skip creature. It became a big meme of like, well, we skip creature, we don't go there.
Yep.
But now that left side's pretty good, creature is very frequently visited.
Yep. So, yeah, that was like that was like the old like debate was creature, no creature skip. And now the next one is left or right side. But, you know, due to the success of left side in the last tournament, a lot more people have come around to it, which is really nice. So it's like more this thing that, you know, closer to probably like 70-30 at this point. People go right side to left side, you know, so there's still a majority of people who go right side, but there's still a large contingent that prefers left side, which I love. And I'm super happy about.
You do also see there can be some options where like you try to read your opponents, but this is more relevant in a 1v1 type of situation. Perfect. That's pretty fresh.
Wow, that was a weird.
We're talking about that, but
pickup. Sorry, continue your thought.
Oh, just saying there is an option where in a 1v1 race setting, let's say you know that you've made some mistakes, like a couple things didn't really work out for you. Like if I'm playing against Swarm, I didn't have a great early game. I know that if I go the same route that Swarm does, chances are pretty good he beats me because I know that I'm not playing my best. And so I might go for a different call. I might decide to go right side because I know he's not doing that. And it's a better out for me to do the thing he's not doing and just hope it works out, you know?
Ye old right side gamble. Yep. Boy.
We have fun here.
Yeah. Good stuff. But yeah, we're, you know, of all, you know, my talk of statistics and such, thus far, left side has kind of give us a big goose egg, unfortunately. But hopefully it turns around here. That'd be really nice.
As someone outside of the randomizer community, I got to watch them do this in their tournament, and there was always seemed like a butt clench moment. It was like, oh, guys, he going left, he's going right, and Swarm's like, nope, I'm doing what I do.
Yep.
And it worked out. It always worked out. And Dragon Blitz, who ran the tournament, was always like, oh my god, I don't believe it. I'm just like, I don't even know what's happening, but this has got me on the edge of my seat. This is crazy. This is great.
Yep.
Yeah, it was so good to watch.
Yeah, that was funny. And the last match in the tournament between me and Dinner Dog, it ended up being like this was kind of this exact scenario, to be honest. But all 4 random Vlads were left side. And I won because I fully believed in left side. And, you know, despite the statistics not being in, you know, my direction, it was basically a 20% chance that I gambled on, and it just so happened to hit. So I'm super happy about that. That was a pretty hype moment. Shout out to Dinner Dog, really, really, really great player. Also has a great series on learning the randomizer, learning complexity and all that. So if you're interested in learning the randomizer, definitely check out his videos. They're super well done. I mean, it's to the point where he's got like a 101, a 202, and a 303 course or whatever, you know.
I will absolutely second checking out Dinner Dog's videos if you're interested in getting involved in this randomizer action. When I first started, had one of those days where I was feeling a little sick on the couch, didn't really feel like playing games, but I wanted to do something involved with games, and I just watched every one of those videos front to back, and I 100% credit that for like me being able to get relatively good at this a lot quicker. It's just very good presentation of the information. It's all very good information. So sorry, I just wanted to give a second shout out to that because I think they're incredible resources and it really helps like grow the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. So here we're gonna be going. This is kind of that scenario that I was just talking about. This is the 20% chance. We're gonna follow that again, you know, in typical Swarm fashion. I gotta believe in my left side strats. So here we're gonna go to Galamoth, everyone's favorite, totally fair, totally awesome boss. who is basically a boss where you need to cheese him or else he will kill the crap out of you. But we've got a Chrysogrim, and an attack potion, so we're going to be able to carve through him pretty fast. We're going to do a little thing called a save split here. You want to talk about like the general idea behind save splits, Scrims?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically with a save split, what you do is you save the game at a location and you go to somewhere that's relatively far away where if backtracking would take longer than just resetting the game and loading the save, you save some time that way. And so in this case, the movement back from Galamoth is pretty long. You have to go down this whole corridor, and we're going to see these frozen shade enemies here. They like to cause some lag. You saw his screen, kind of lagged out just a little bit there.
Yeah, it makes
when you hit them,
drop wing smashes because the game lags.
It's very common to drop wing smashes through here because of hitting a frozen shade. So like all of those things sort of combine to make it so that the movement back from here is somewhat painful, even with bat. And save splitting, there can be good. And there's a lot of other places you can save split. Some examples are like very early on when we were in the caverns, if you have the ability to go down the waterfall, but you don't have the ability to go back up the waterfall, you can save at the top over Scylla. And then if you go down there and let's say you find nothing, you just throw it away. You didn't need to keep it. You can go back and then you can choose to go down or take whatever other route you'd like from there, but you're not stuck in a situation where you have to recover from, this place that you can't get back from normally.
Yeah. So there's definitely like strats where there are usually spots, like common places are here. Here's a big one. Like entrance check, silvering sometimes is like things that people save split away. So, all right, please, 20% chance. Let's go. Okay. You know what? That's all right. That is okay. So basically, I've got to eat my words and ignore everything that I've said up to this point. Right side's the best. You should always go right side, never go left side.
Oof. Feels bad, man.
Clip that, Matthias. Matthias is he's a great runner. Won the Brazilian randomizer tournament, and we like to go back and forth about what's better, left or right side. And he's got a right side emote for his channel, and I got a left side emote. So we have fun. That's
Swarm, I have received a message that I'm supposed to relay to you.
Oh boy.
This person says, "Tell Swarm, Swellen appreciates your 4 Vlads on left side, Monka S."
Shout outs to Ren. That's funny. He's a Brazilian runner. Great guy. And he basically was commentating the final, or he was watching the finals match or whatever. And he was like, you know what? If there are 4 random Vlads left side, then you can just call me Swellen for a year. So we just call him Swellen now. Swellen until December. So shout outs to Swellen. All right, so right siders win this time. If it's bees, I'm gonna be super pissed. Not you bees, but Beelzebub.
I was like, I've just been sitting here enjoying this run the whole time, and I get called out.
So Beelzebub is a boss on the right side. He's the okay. He's the bane of left-siders. If it's at B's, basically it's an auto L. There's just so much time that's lost there. But basically we're getting to the point where we've got Grand Floon, we've got Fire of Bat, we've got Akmodan, Trio, and Bees. One of those needs to be our progression. Oh, and Holy Glasses, which we know is the final Vlad already. Which we know. So basically, we have like a 60% chance of finding, or 40%. Wait, let me think. 60% chance of finding something at each of these checks at this point. So it's kind of crazy that we haven't found one at this point. But yeah. All right.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 checks left here, and there's just a 33% chance of each just having the progression, not including the random Vlads that we're missing.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. Sometimes you get unlucky, but that's you know, that's what you do. That's kind of what you deal with the randomizer. Sometimes things go your way, sometimes things don't. So I expect we'll see a Vlad here. I'm guessing just a progression at trio or progression at bees or something. Okay. All right. Now we're. What is this? What is this? Grand Floon, is this you? Is this you? Did you really do this in front of all these people? Oh, goodness gracious.
I think maybe Swellen got together with Grand Floon, paid him off. A little bit of collusion going on here.
Come on, Grand Floon. Are you serious? Are you serious, Grand Floon? Come on. All right, no. Where's this? Grand Floon never has anything. I'm guessing. So one Vlad. Oh wait, at this point, Grand Floon has to have something, right? Because one of these has to be progression. There has to be something at Fire of Bat. There has to be something at Grand Floon. I think. Am I?
There's two random Vlads left. There's 2 checks here.
Oh, 2 random.
One of them has to be progression.
Sorry.
So there's a 2 in 3 chance that he has a Vlad at this point.
Oh shit. Sorry. Shoot. I forgot to get this teleporter.
And I know we did talk about this teleporter being just like people saying it was not as valuable, but in any situation where you have to come back from the first castle to go to the second castle again, this warp becomes invaluable.
Yeah,
so
still
it's very important
worth
to grab
getting.
it in this spot.
Definitely worth getting. So yeah, where we'll be getting it. Please not bees. Please not bees. Regardless, we're going to be going to bees anyways because if he doesn't have progression, he probably has the random Vlad.
Look, I just like to say that nobody told me to bring anything to this. So if it's not there, it is not my fault. Please don't everybody get mad at me.
Gotcha.
I'm blaming you, bees.
Dang it.
I'm blaming
not
you.
again.
Rough, dude. I'm sorry. I don't know you, but I got to blame you as well.
True. All right, come on. If this is nothing, then that means Grand Floon has to have something, right? Almost.
Yeah, that's correct. No, because that means
progression
bees has to have
and
progression,
then
and then there's 2
and
random Vlads. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow. Why you got to be doing this, Grand Floon? Hey, he doesn't have anything. Let's be honest, he doesn't have anything. Okay, there's our progression, which we knew had to be at either of these 2 checks. And now we're going to, hopefully, find a Vlad here. Library card. Get the random Vlad at Fire of Bat. And then, oh boy. Oh, sweet. That worked out. Oh, damn it.
Very close to a smooth lagless setup. So for that particular stairway, if you wing smash against those stairs, like right up against them, you'll cause the game to lag a little bit. If you're swaggy like Swarm, you do the lagless setup and you're able to just fly through the air, and it's a pretty tight angle to make it work.
Yeah.
But
all right.
It does save you a couple seconds.
Please. Not Grand Floon, not now.
I sort of want it to happen so we can blame bees.
All right, that's fair. All right, that's fair. Bruh.
Certified bruh moment.
All right. Clean bees fight. So regardless of whether something is here or not, we're going to be popping off our library card here. Oh my goodness, dude. Okay. All right, Grand Floon. Are you serious? Unbelievable. All right. Well, there's something in Grand Floon. Man, I'm just eating all my words. I'm just eating all my words.
Blame my bro, Big Bees.
I think what happened here was you didn't actually check when you signed the initial contract, and Grand Floon specifically stated at the bottom of the contract, you can win money now at the cost of your pride later.
True. I think that's exactly what happened. We're going to just pick up this. And yeah, that's fine. We just picked up another Chrysogrim just because, what's better than 1 Chrysogrim is 2 Chrysogrim. Now we're going to be getting this random Vlad at whatever you want to call it. A random Vlad at Fire Bat, and then random Vlad at Grand Floon. After, well, let's see. What's the best order to do here? Probably Holy Glass is second, right? I don't know.
So you go down to Grand Floon, you go back to the warp. You have the middle warp, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure. It seems pretty close on... Because what, your other option is to just take the warp to middle, get holy glasses, and then go down from there?
Yeah.
They both sound pretty ugly. I'm not sure which one's better, and if there is one that's better, it's probably a marginal improvement at best.
Yep. Hello. Ribbiblad. All right. There we go. And then got to make the walk of shame to Grand Floon here. Which is fine. Which is fine. Pouring out for your boy. But we got the teleporter because we were just being super safe. But
I imagine you walk in, and instead of the usual like sounds and dialogue you get, you just get a well.
Yep. Grand Floon was looking for the best opportunity to embarrass me. All right. Well, we'll just stop here first, I guess. I don't know. I don't think it actually matters. But yeah. So that is, I guess this is a good example of, you can make the statistically correct plays, but it is a randomizer at the end of the day. Anything can happen. So kind of
now that I'm thinking about it, I do think this is better because if you were to do it the opposite way, you'd have to sit through more warp cycles.
Yeah, true. Yeah, definitely true. So we're going to equip our silver and gold ring here. Put these back. Get our Noglemere. 47. A gentleman's 47 defense, which is ridiculous.
This Alucard is thick.
He is. Thick boy. But, yeah. So this is what we call our final Vlad. This is the culmination of all the layers of progression throughout the run. And you know what? Let's check this because sometimes... Nope. Never mind. Really hoping for a library card there. Library card there would have been pretty spectacular. But that's all right. So we got our final Vlad here. And I guess a one last complexity count for the people at home.
Yeah. So first layer was Leapstone. Second layer was Mist. Third layer was Jewel of Open. Fourth layer was Spikebreaker. Our fifth layer was Bat. Our sixth layer was it Merman Statue? Mm-hmm. Seventh layer, Holy Glasses. Eighth layer gave us the second ring. And the final was here at Holy Glasses.
Yeah. Also, wait. Let me think. Okay, no. There is one Vlad in the second castle, the heart. But yeah, this was a four Vlads. In first castle.
It was your consolation prize on left side.
Yep, it was a little bit. This seed was pretty mean, honestly. But the complexity chain was a little bizarre in that it took forever to get flight, intended flight. And then left side was kind of a bust, except for heart at Heart at Death, right?
I thought it was earlier than that, but I'm probably wrong. I thought maybe it was Doppelganger. I'm probably wrong about that. Sorry.
No. Could have been. I forget. But regardless, it's just the way it goes. But sometimes just the things that it wants you to do are so spread out that naturally things are going to take a little longer than one might expect.
It also hurt that you all of the flight that you had early was just Power of Mist. Power of Mist is so slow and it's very mana hungry, so you're taking more chances to stop at these save rooms and refill your mana. I don't know. At least you had some decent combat. You didn't have to go around doing it with just your fists.
Yep. So here is where our friend resides. He just wanted to be in the limelight for a couple seconds. And I guess this is his 15 seconds of fame.
Well.
Thank you.
Oh boy, Granfloon, come on, man.
That guy, another good reason to skip him, honestly, is that is probably the second most annoying fight. And I say annoying instead of difficult because, like, he doesn't actually do anything. He just floats there, right? But he does this laser beam attack where every time he shoots it, he fires a little bit higher up into the air. And so it gets to the point where you have a really hard time hitting it.
Yeah.
And he's spawning all of these corpses on the ground, and it's just a very annoying and sort of chaotic fight if you can't one-shot him kind of the way Swarm just did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you don't have good combat, that fight sucks. It's not fun at all.
Especially, like, because, like, it's possible that he can just, like, laser himself so high that you can't really get to him super easily. So you can get into bad scenarios there. But now it's finally go mode. So we're headed to Dracula finally, and gonna end this ASAP. It's not gonna be the most, it's gonna be kind of anticlimactic fight in that we have a Chris Grims, or two Chris Grims, in fact. So we're gonna just absolutely tear through him. So yeah, we'll see. But
this was pretty much a forced full clear. Like, even if you had done Grand Falloon the first time, going left side, you would have been forced to pretty much full clear the castle.
Yeah, for sure. Like that scenario, like, you have to imagine that if you went right side, you'd still probably continue. I don't know what I'd probably continue looking for that last Vlad, and then probably library card at Galamoth. So that's, you're kind of right there. So just a mean seed overall, but what else do you expect from a marathon randomizer run?
Hey, and nobody can doubt that you vetted this seed now.
Yes,
there's
exactly.
no doubt in anyone's mind.
Yep, just like, no, definitely did not. So I have at least that going for me. Oh boy. But yeah, just gonna be making our way to Dracula's lair. Any closing questions, comments, cypherin?
No, I'm just thinking, I mean, you had to clear the whole castle anyway. We can still blame bigbeaz, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. That's all I need to
No, I'll take that. I did have one really important question from chat. It's from hold on, let me scroll up to see the name. It's GF Loon. It just says, well.
Oh boy, yep. He's old. We're frenemies. But we're in a fight, that's for sure right now. I guess because we went a little over, I'll probably just start shoutouts right now. Well, you guys want to start? Cypherin and Scrims?
Sure. Swarm, thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you. It's an honor. Definitely love watching your runs in this game. Love to see the progression that you've made, especially seeing your start here on UBAF. And just I continue to look forward to watching you rise. So yeah, keep rising, man.
Heck yeah. Thank you.
I also want to thank you. This was a blast. This is my first time getting to like do commentary on something like this on like a large scale. I just like talking about video games a lot, and so I've had a ton of fun, and I was really happy that I was one of the first people you thought to ask about it. And I also just want to shout out the Long Library community. I've been in a lot of different communities for video games over the years, and they're by far one of the most welcoming and inclusive groups of people that I've been involved in. Normally, I'm in these communities and I don't necessarily feel like a lot of people are my friends. I genuinely feel like a number of people in there are my friends, and I can't say enough good things about them. If you guys think that this game looks interesting and you want to get in on this action, go join the Long Library, start playing some Soden with us. We'd love to have you.
Heck yeah. Thank you, Scrimps. Definitely give these two a follow, Scrimps and Cypherin. Both great people and great gamers, and good friends of mine. Let's see. Shout outs for myself would be I guess, would be to the practice crew, which is Ren, Crazy, Scrimps. Those are the main ones. Appreciate all the work that you
Wait,
did
who's that
with me.
first one? Swellen?
Oh, Swellen, of
continue.
course. And basically, I mean, I won the last Soten randomizer tournament, and definitely could not have done it. That's time, by the way. Could not have done it without you guys. So much appreciated, and thank you for your help. Big shout out to just the Black community in general in speedrunning. It's great to be a part of it, and it's amazing to see it grow this fast. Next, special shout out to all the Black dads out there. I had my first kid December 31st, and it's amazing.
Woo!
And yeah, I just love him so much. And so he's everything to me.
What were Lisa's last words?
And that's it for me. Thank you, everybody.
Do not hate humans. If you cannot
Great show, man. Thanks for having us.
Yes, for sure.
Fantastic. Now I will say, if we ever meet up in person, I will teach your son to say, well. I'm just putting that out there now.
Honestly, Swarm, at this point, I think you need a well emote of Grand Falloon there. You need an emote of Grand Falloon saying that. It's mandatory.
Yeah. I'll get my people working on that. And
thank you so much for that run. It is always a blast to have you on and to see your runs that truthfully just blow my mind sitting here and watching, because in the time you did this, I probably would have finally learned how to do most of my basic moves. So this is truly impressive. And thank you to the wonderful couch you had on. Today the last 3 days have just been unbelievably amazing, and it's thanks to fantastic runners, friends, and couch commentary like y'all. So thank you. All right, everyone, we are going to bury Grand Falloon and everybody else again, so they can kind of regenerate. We're gonna put some of those chandeliers back up, and we're gonna just sweep up a little bit, and we'll be right back with our next run on this wonderful schedule, Stray. Ooh, see you soon.